Let's keep the conversation going as to COVID-19 and how we can protect ourselves. So we welcome Dr. Wade Palmer, who will be chatting to us about the importance of breathing correctly and exercising your lungs in COVID recovery. Welcome to the Loft, Doc.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate your time.
And of course, it's just such a pleasure. You know, I had to call Nicole back into the Loft and say, come sit down with us, girl, because you know all about this as well. I mean, we're speaking about just breathing and the importance of such. So, Doc, before we get into the actual breathing exercises, yourself and Prime Media Solutions have just gone above and beyond Prime Medical Solutions when it comes to home visits, visiting people, and truly being the change in your industry. So can you just tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So Prime Medical Solutions is based on providing accessible healthcare, not only from a financial point of view, but also convenience. And like you've mentioned, we come to your home or to your place of business and actually offer general medical healthcare from your kids' immunizations, all the way up to your adults with your general medical conditions, as well as having your COVID test done in the comfort of your own home. So we're trying to leverage both technology and our skills in healthcare to provide quality healthcare beyond the comforts of a practice and reach a lot more people, particularly in rural communities.
Absolutely.
I think that's incredible because you're able to really take medicine into people's homes in a way that it never has been before. And especially now, I think, with the pandemic that we faced, medicine has been something that you're afraid to touch because it exposes you to things, right?
Correct. So a lot of people have been saying, look, if I go for a painful ear, what am I going to contract at my GP's practice? And that's the concern. So this is how this concept was bred by Dr. Sishle Asirudakwa last year already, and it's picked up so much, and it's becoming a more common occurrence now amongst general practitioners in South Africa.
Yeah, look, tick, tick, tick. I can only imagine the game changer it is, not only to us wherever we live, but in those vulnerable communities. Yes. But something else that's very important, that's essentially why we had to call Dr. Palmer into the Loft, is breathing exercises. Now, of course, being a drama student, and I'm sure yourself in school, we all learned that breathing is very important, you know, from working out and your day-to-day activities. But when it comes to COVID recovery, and also for those with respiratory issues, essentially, how can breathing exercises help?
So I think the most important thing to keep in mind is that with our breathing exercises, you're actually trying to increase your lung capacity, which is basically the amount of oxygen that you can get into your lungs. And I think first and foremost is to keep in mind that we need to have or respect our bodies. Let your body tell you your limits, essentially. So with this, breathing is so important in terms of providing adequate oxygenation, not only to your vital organs, but also in general to your muscles.
Well, I was fascinated because recently I had laparoscopic surgery for my appendix removal, and I got a physio come through to me afterwards with a spirometer, and I got taught how to breathe to help quicken my recovery. And I think the awareness that brought to me of just what role breathing plays, healthy, aware breathing.
Yeah, so essential. And it's strange that you say she taught you how to breathe. When you thought it was something that you could do effortlessly, but there is a way of breathing more effectively that will assist your day-to-day.
So then, Doc, the next question has to be then, I mean, Nicole, you are someone who is just the picture of health for the rest of us, you know. So then, are breathing exercises kind of beneficial to all types of people, whether you've got underlying conditions or not?
As a mom of two, breathing is essential. Just going to put that out there. For the medical opinion.
Yes, it is essential. I think a lot of runners will tell you they run, but then they get this little stitch in their lungs, and that's just, it boils down to ineffective breathing. So with any form of activity, whether it's related to illness, recovering from illness, or just from a healthy point of view, breathing is essential along with a strong heart muscle to actually deliver, like I've mentioned, oxygenated blood efficiently. So it's extremely important to know how to breathe correctly.
I love that. Well, let's get into it. We're speaking breathing correctly. So, Doc, you are going to teach us, show us, and talk to us step by step and explain essentially how then we can then do these breathing exercises to become beneficial in our everyday lives. So, how many breathing exercises will you take us through?
So we'll go through 3, and we can stand. Okay. So basically, the easiest way to open up your lungs is to actually put your hands on your waist. So what we'll do, so if you look a normal posture, we somewhat slouch a bit, right? So as soon as you put your hands on your waist, you kind of automatically your shoulders drop back.
It's the power pose.
Yes, correct.
Superwoman, I love that.
Yes. So the first exercise we'll do is called box breathing. And if you picture a rectangular box, you have a long side and a short side on both ends. So what we'll do is we'll take a deep breath in and actually hold it for at least between 5 to 10 seconds. Obviously, for people who are recovering from COVID, it's important to, again, listen to your body.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't
stick
push
to the
yourself.
5 seconds, right? So we'll start with a deep breath in through the nose, hold for at least 5 seconds, and exhale completely. And then hold again for another 5 seconds, and then repeat.
Beautiful. This is a bonding experience. So, Mzansi, stand up. We are all doing this together. Please raise off your seats and let's try this box breathing.
So let's go. Deep breath in through the nose. And then hold. And again, in through your nose. And out. And that you can repeat about 3 to 5 times within a single session. The second one, we'll make it a bit fun. So you each get
You
a
chose
balloon.
pink just for us.
I
I was
did,
literally
and
going to
for
say it's my
Prime
favorite
Medical
colour.
Solutions.
Love it.
So the point of this is to actually breathe against resistance. So a lot like your general exercises, you go to the gym, your instructor tells you, let's use a band, right? A resistance band. Because you're using muscles, your intercostal muscles between your lungs as well as your diaphragm when you're breathing. So if you strengthen those muscles, it's more effective breathing. So the aim of this, and you can do this, it's fun for the older folk to do with their kiddies or the younger to do with their kiddies. And the idea is to, with 3 full breaths, to actually fill the balloon. That's the plan, right?
That's a challenge, okay.
I like
So-
a challenge. Sorry.
So it's not, please, this is not a race, because as soon as it becomes a race, people will start hyperventilating and you
fainting.
faint. Correct.
Okay.
So it's just about sort of exhaling against restriction. Okay, so we can go for it.
Okay.
And
wow.
that's Okay, so more or less the same.
Pretty good.
All right,
Pretty good.
so it's not too bad. You can keep the balloons and play with it at home, bounce
I
it
love
around.
it.
It's always
This is
fun.
for you, Mzansi. Okay, let's go into the last one.
So, alternative to this is, if you don't have a balloon, is to actually make use of a water bottle and put a straw in it. You're struggling a bit. And just exhaling deeply into the water. It forms the same form of restriction and limitation and helps to...
So that thing we were taught not to do when we were kids.
Yes,
That-
blow into
that
the bubble.
annoys parents.
Yes, blow
Let's
bubbles.
get into the last one before we run out
So
of too
for
much.
the last exercise, it's called a rib stretch. And the idea is to, again, take a deep breath in, hold it for at least 20 seconds, again, with limitation. And the plan is, or the idea is, to stretch your muscles as far as you go, to increase, again, your lung capacity and the volume. To incorporate your diaphragm, you can actually put your hand on your abdomen and actually feel your abdomen extend, and make sure that when you exhale, you force it, force the air out, okay? So we can take a nice deep breath in. And exhale.
This is also really, really relaxing and
It really
soothing.
is.
So as you keep breathing, Mzansi, taking care of your body and your health is of the utmost importance, whether you have an upper respiratory condition or recovering from COVID. These breathing exercises are definitely sure to help. Now, after the break, we are going to be delivering that Pound fitness routine thanks to Hayley.